Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Now it is time to introduce our main speaker for tonight, Sarge.
Thank you. I'm Sarge. I'm an alcoholic and a crack addict and a Hostess fruit pie aficionado. What's the sound system, man? We got a guy who's our secretary who runs one of the top 3 recording studios on the planet. We're in the entertainment capital of the fucking universe. And we got this. Okay. All right. There's no end to the charity in Los Angeles, is there? I also like to report that nobody who wasn't hot celebrated tonight. Everyone was hot. I'm wondering, where are all the ugly drunk chicks? They're not here, thank God. All the hot drunk chicks are up in this thing right here. Please keep your comments short. I love this. I love this. We're in a church basement. Oh my God, this is awesome. And I'm a Jew. And I'm a black Jew, actually. Jewish part of me usually doesn't work on Friday nights. The black part tries not to work the other fucking 6. So, there you go. A little ethnic love for you white people. It's great to be back in Los Angeles. It's great to be at the Rodeo meeting as the speaker. Oh my God, this is great. I want to start by saying I'm not the least bit nervous because I know I'm going to tell the truth tonight. I know I'm going to tell the truth tonight because I hit my knees right outside the ladies' bathroom. That's where all the spirituality is. Outside the ladies' bathroom. I'm here to say that there's something about us. There's something about us. I'll tell you what it's about. You know, the bond between those of us who stay sober in this fellowship is remarkable. It's incredible. It's phenomenal. It's the original reason for which this program was founded. And I'm going to tell you a very quick story about somebody in this room who's here with us tonight, who's a member of this fellowship, and I'll tell you how special the bond is here. My friend, who I will not say his name, was on a trip coming back on a plane. And he was sitting in first class because his butt doesn't fit in coach. And he goes through a problem in his life spiritually because he had a tragedy in his life which he deals with, and every few years he needs to go home and go to court and make sure a perpetrator who committed a crime against his family doesn't get out. And so every few years he would go through this spiritual tumble. It was just awful. It was like a tumble downward. And so he's on the plane and he's thinking about it because it's coming up, and the plane's about to leave, and they close the doors, and then they open the doors again, and then a whole entourage of very bizarrely dressed gentlemen walk on the plane. The last one through the door was the Dalai Lama. And my friend wrote a note about his spiritual dilemma to one of the entourage, and apparently it got to the Dalai Lama because several minutes later he was asked to, the Dalai Lama will see you now. And my friend, a member of this fellowship, went over and sat next to the Dalai Lama and said, "Hello, Dalai." The Dalai Lama was not amused. And for the next hour and a half or so, he had an audience with the Dalai Lama. And the Dalai Lama told him that as long as he continued to be part of the process of keeping this person imprisoned, that spiritually he would still be imprisoned. He needed to just take care of himself, take care of his own soul and his own spirituality, and let the system take care of the guy in jail, and that would be his job, and he would be free. So he told me this story, and I'm driving up La Brea trying to make a left turn on Sunset, right by Hollywood High School over there. And so he told me this story, and I said, wow. I was almost weeping, and he says, what do you think I should do? So I was like, you just spoke to the Dalai Lama. What the fuck are you asking me for? And he said to me, I know you. We know each other. That's the essence of this. Only we know us. The other thing is, if you seek a higher power, you'll find that your higher power knows you too. He doesn't talk to us anymore like he did in the Bible. You know, bring a calf and a whore to the river. You know, Noah, it's gonna rain. You know, like, he talks to us through us. We know us. He knows us and we know us. And we're the only people that know us. When we tell people who aren't in here about what we're doing and what we're going through, they pretend to know us. Only a stranger in the fellowship of recovery really knows us. That's the power of us. You have to find a higher power. You better find a higher. I hear people say, oh, you know, I pray to my hands. I pray to a bush. If you need to make Larry your higher power, do that. If you don't find an abstract, huge higher power that you don't know what it looks like or where it is, you might as well be toast and go now. You're not going to be able to make up some silly, it's a doorknob, it's a bell, it's my car, it's Phil. No, no. No, and I only speak from my own experience. I'm not a representative of the books and the CDs and the brochures and everything. My experience has been you need to find a big, huge God to pull you through because you are a loser. You are a fucking gigantic loser. If you are here, you're so lucky to be alive. You're a loser. I'm a loser every day. And so are you. I know you are, because you're here. You're a loser. Get okay with the fact that you're a loser, because it's going to give you a chance to be a winner loser. It's not so bad. Of all the fucking losers on the planet, you could be the best. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you have or where you're going or what you think you want to be or all that. It doesn't matter. You're a loser. And if you accept the loserness on a daily basis and turn it over to a gigantic winner, higher power, you just have a chance today to just get through today, getting closer to what you were supposed to be and further away from what you're trying to be. Because what I was trying to be was a motorhome. When I got here, I was 340 pounds of crack-smoking, Jack Daniels guzzling love. I gained weight on crack. I am a fucking loser. I didn't even get skinny and emaciated and toothless and pathetic. I hear people go, when I came here, I was 93 pounds. I was 93 pounds when I was friggin' 2. I was chubby. I was pleasantly plump. I was the kid that loves to eat. You hear mothers go, oh, we have such a hard time getting Rustum to eat. My mother used to say, we have such a hard time getting Sarge to chew. I still have the elementary school record for most kids pinned to the top of the seesaw at recess. If you're not laughing, you have a long way to go. Higher power means sense of humor for me. Higher power means sense of humor for me. If I have a sense of humor, God's working through me. If I don't, the only thing working through me is me. When I'm not laughing, it means I don't have my God. When you're not laughing, you don't have your God either. Sometimes I walk down the street and I'm just singing, and I always realize, I just sing. I just sing. I hum, I whistle, I sing. I realize my higher power is in my life when I'm doing that. I have to stop. Hey, I'm a loser. I have no choice. I don't get to take credit for any of the greatness or any of the wonderfulness or even any of the bad stuff. I'm a loser. It's unbelievable. And when I check in with my higher power, conscious contact carries me through. I don't have to act like a loser. I don't have to tell other people I'm a loser. I know I'm a loser. Keeps me humble. If it doesn't come from God, I don't need it. This is the best AA gig booking there is in the whole planet, right here in this room tonight. This is it. Tonight is it. This is it. I get on a plane in a few hours and go home back to Florida because there wasn't enough chance of dying of natural causes here. And I don't know if you've ever been to Florida, but it's a really scary place. Here people are driving like they're auditioning for NASCAR. Okay? In Florida, there's like 4 million cars that are driving around, apparently with no one driving them. There's just cars going everywhere. And then you get up close and it's like, sense of humor, sense of humor. I'm online at DMV when I moved from Los Angeles to Florida because LA wasn't working out as well as I thought it would have because I was this close for, 10 years. And my anus kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where, the shit was just coming out of my eyes. And so I'm at DMV, and there's a 96-year-old woman behind me online, and her name was Pearl. It was a Jewish woman with like 7 necks, and because Jewish women don't get older, they just add necks. And so I'm talking to this woman, and she's pinching me, and you're just like my son, you're just like, oh my God, you're what? And we were online for like an hour and a half, and we got to the window, and I said, you know what, Pearl, who knows how much time you have left? Go ahead of me. I said, go around, sweetheart, darling, go around, bubba, go around. So she goes, and she goes to the window, and they do your license immediately there. They give it to you, they do the scan, and the fingerprints and the picture, and they give it to her, and she comes walking back to me, mystified, looking at the license, going, they renewed me to 2017. I said, think of the bright side. This is the last time you ever stand online at the DMV. And she laughed. Don't wait until you're 96 to learn to laugh at yourself. The only gift I have, and it is a G-I-F-T, it is a gift, because I didn't do anything to deserve the life that I have today out there. Didn't do anything to deserve this life. I didn't do anything to deserve it. It's a G-I-F-T. And I know that because my higher power gave me a sense of humor. He chose to not take away all of my mental faculties behind the kind of using I was doing, and he gave me an opportunity to be me, and that's a better thing than it's ever been. If you're not glad to be you, ask God to help you see yourself more the way God sees you and less the way you see you, because you're wrong. If you don't see yourself the way God sees you, you are wrong. My sponsor told me we are first thought wrong people. First thought wrong. First thought wrong. In any situation, hi, how are you? Why the fuck do you care? First thought wrong. First thought wrong. My sponsor told me the voice in your head is your ego. It always speaks first, it always speaks loudest, and it's always, always, always wrong. My sponsor did 7 years in federal prison for robbing banks really badly. My sponsor has one eye that looks this way and one eye that looks that way. He's the strangest man you've ever met in your life. He's now a therapist in the prison system. His record was expunged, and he's got 22 years of sobriety, and he calls himself a rookie. I'm a rookie. What does that make you? Christmas of this year, if God sees fit and I continue to do what I need to do on a daily basis, I'll be picking up 17 years. A miracle thing happened. I'm big on superstition and sobriety. I don't know about any of you, but I'm big on medallions. I'm big on superstition. I'm big on all kinds of stuff, And I was speaking at a place in Deerfield Beach the other night, 1,000 crackheads and drunks and everything. It was awesome, and it was about to rain, and there was fireworks going off, and I'm in a really shitty parking lot, you know, in South Florida and stuff, and my rehab counselor who runs this place, the guy who met me on the steps of rehab when I first got there 17 years ago, he has a box, and in this shoebox is a whole bunch of stuff from a guy named Howard R., who died with 52 years sober. And if you're very special, Mike will take you to the box, and you get to pick something from the box. And so he brought the box over, and I put my hand into the box, and I pulled out a medallion that says LII on it, 52. This is with me wherever I go. My men's group has a medallion ceremony where they drill holes in dollars. I never go anywhere without this thing. I've lost phones, I've lost computers, I've lost wives. This is on my belt loop. Just to qualify very briefly, I had a thrifty $350 a day crack habit. I drank an entire bottle of Jack Daniels every day. My last week using, a guy that I was using a room in his house occasionally because I preferred to be naked on the streets of New York in a Mets hat. For me, there was nudity and using went together. For some reason, the second anything hit my bloodstream, I had this insatiable desire to become unclothed. At 344 pounds, that's pretty scary, even in New York. But I blended in. I mean, people would pass me and go, oh my God. You know, that was the reaction I most often got. I needed to bring a toothless homeless guy with me to cop because they didn't believe me. I was like, no, I'm a crackhead. You don't understand. Look at, you fat man, you a cop. Get the, like, no. Enos, tell him, No, yeah, you a crackhead. Look at you, crackhead. So, the guy that was giving me a room in his house, his name is Todd, which rhymes with God, and I'll get to that in a minute. He's looking for his heirloom grandpa watch that he had, which was like a 71-carat Van Cleef & Arpels, rectangular, $30,000, oh my God watch. And I had smoked it like 3 weeks ago, And so I was helping him look for it, and I'm pulling up the couch cushions, and I'm in briefs at this point with a stem in one hand, lighter in the other, and I'm pulling up couch cushions because I never let go of either one, and I'm pulling up the couch cushion, and he goes, and hurry up, I got to make this plane, blah, 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 I'm looking for the watch, and I finally just had a moment of truth because I'd never told the truth my entire life, and I actually said to him, I know where the watch is, it's on 47th Street with some guy named Avi with a yarmulke and really long sideburns and stuff, and he said, come on. I said, no, I have a problem with drugs and alcohol, and I can't stop. I want to stop. I've always wanted to stop. Every night I stop. Every night I throw everything away. Every night I have this flicker of a flame inside of me that says, this isn't you. This isn't you. This isn't you, dude. Stop. You have to stop. And every day I would re-up, and every day I would do the same thing and do the same thing, And I told him I knew where the watch was, but it's gone now, and blah, blah, blah. And he said, let's get you some help then. God speaking through others. Not a normal person. This is God speaking through others. And 24 hours later, I was on the steps of a rehab center, and a gigantic man with a beard met me at the door. He was about 6'6", and he said, "Are you an alcoholic?" And I said, No, I'm a crackhead. I just drink to take the edge off. And he just played with his beard, and he said, "Right." He said, how many drinks did you have on the plane? I said, 11. I had 11. 11. He said, right. He says, you're not an alcoholic. An alcoholic would have had 12. You're one drink shy. Let's get to work on the crack. I want you to go in your bungalow. They had bungalows at this place. Bungalows. I owed everybody in New York $349. Oh, because that's what it costs to get your car back from the impound lot when it gets towed, and your wallet's in the glove compartment. And And I'm going to a bungalow. And he told me to hit my knees and ask God to remove the obsession to drink and drug from your life. I had no idea what God was. I'd never talked to God. I didn't even do foxhole prayers. I had no idea. I'd been bar mitzvahed, but it's only because I have white Jewish parents, and which makes me a rescue. But I was adopted at birth, and my birth mother was white, my birth father was black, and he left before I was born, which never happens. And then, so I went in the other room, hit my knees like this. And I chanted over and over again, please remove the obsession, please remove the obsession, please remove the obsession. And the next morning I woke up. The next morning, I didn't wake up, but I climbed out of my pool of fat guy sweat. And I didn't have any desire to get high or drink anymore. And that was the day after Christmas, 1990, and I can't explain it, and I don't even want to explain it. I don't even want to know what it's about, because that was then, and today's today, and I need to do what I need to do today to stay sober today. But that was then, and that's the story, and that's what happened, and I was struck sober, and no one had to explain to me the existence of a higher power. No one had to tell me that God is a loving God. You know, I was so blown away. I bought the entire set of box sets. It's like, I went for it, man, because guess what? It didn't matter. There's a flicker of a flame inside of me. I don't know anybody in this program who's ambitious and has some higher power and some conscious contact that isn't kicking it huge. And I always wanted to kick it huge, and kick it huge doesn't mean a billboard on the side of a building on Sunset for me anymore. Kicking it huge doesn't mean pulling up in a car that my ass doesn't fit in. Kicking it huge doesn't mean the hottest chick, claiming to be with me in a relationship. Kicking it huge doesn't mean a bank account full of zeros. Kicking it huge means just not being friggin' ashamed of myself. I was ashamed. I lived on shame, man. I ate shame. I drank shame. I smoked shame. I talked shame. I had a huge shame game, and it was going on and going on and going on. And when God got involved, man, there was not as much shame as there was the day before. And the next day, a little less shame and a little less shame. And the shame just started to disappear and fall away. And to this day, I can stand in front of you and say, that's why I'm not scared. I'm not nervous. I'm telling you the truth, because I got a higher power. I love my higher power. I'm not sharing my higher power with you. I'm not brainwashed, I'm brain scrubbed, and I gotta tell you, conscious contact is the key. I have a disease of selfish self-centeredness. That's all it is. It's not even drugs and alcohol anymore. Because, gotta be honest with you, it wasn't the drinking, it was the about to drinking that got me high. It was the about to using that got me high. It was the about to. It's not the drinking and the drugging. For me, it's the anxiety attack I'd have when I put the key in the door when I knew I was gonna use, not the sitting on the couch naked with my butt stuck to the leather. It's gotten real good, and if you're new and you hear people say, oh, it gets real good, work those steps. I don't know why, if you come in here, you don't just get busy on the steps. It's the only thing that works. And now this doesn't work for everybody, but it kind of works for the people that work it. I'm not here to say that this works for everybody. Oh, you hear people say, oh, this is the only thing that works. You do it the way it's designed and it works for you. It doesn't work for just about anybody. It doesn't work for a lot of people. It really doesn't. But if you're in this room tonight and you're still alive, you represent the 0.1% that isn't gone. Why not give that a shot? Why would you just go to meetings and look for ass and try to get a better career job and just hang out and slack and stand outside and smoke, when all you have to do is come in here, find somebody that you can't stand, and ask them to help take you through the steps? I don't understand it. I did the steps. I do the steps. I work with others. I can count on this many hands in the last 17 years, 16 and a half years, the guys I've worked with, this many guys have done through all the steps. I don't understand why, if you're here, just get it over with. Take 90 days and get cracking on that stuff and just get it done and see if you don't feel different. Why take a chance? Why waste your time? Why question higher power concept? Oh, well, this guy died and I hate God and, find a new God. There's unlimited higher power resource here. It says it there. Find the one of your understanding. Don't get pissed off at the one you didn't understand or the one that didn't understand you. Plug it in. Go. Do. It's awesome. My life is beyond my wildest dreams today. I never thought I could say that. The promises say that it will always materialize if I work for them. All I got to do is work for them, and they, guess what? Always materialize. What a shock. I can't believe it. I do work for them. I went to Iraq last year. I went to Iraq. I came as close to dying as somebody could come and still be alive, you know? I went to, I'm an entertainer. You people gave me that career. You didn't give me a development deal, but you gave me a career. And that's okay. It's okay. I don't want anyone to recognize me at Starbucks. I don't like talking to strangers. I'm glad I'm not famous. I'd probably just tell them to fuck off all the time. I had to find out who I was before I got, I'm successful in my own life. I'm not trying to be anything else today. And I'm so grateful for that because this town kicked my ass in that respect. It took my eye off of my higher power and off of what was important, which is sobriety, conscious contact, tell the truth, be yourself. I couldn't go to the log cabin at 7 in the morning and get shot out of there like out of a cannon and then be bullshitting my ass off on the Pico lot 2 hours later. It just messed me up, you know? But you gave me a career, and I'm me. I don't even have any tools to go with it. I just show up as me, and I got to go to the war. I got to go to the war, and I say got to go because I wasn't on a USO tour. My ego agreed to go to Iraq because I thought it would be the coolest thing to tell people, yeah, I'm going to Iraq, a Jew in Iraq, a black Jew in Iraq. I should have just gotten sponsored by Target and then just wore a shirt. So they asked me to go, and my private parts just got gigantic when I heard this, and people ask me what part of you is Jewish. I go, the part that should be black. So that should. So I passed 6 background checks with the Pentagon, and they said, you're not going to Baghdad like Billy Ray Cyrus and Robin Williams. You're going to all the parts where nobody wants to go. No, it's where they wouldn't allow anyone to go. That's where I went. I was a guest of the Pentagon. I was doing shows in Tikrit, Mosul, all these places, you hear the bombs and stuff, and every night they would transport me in a chopper, and every night, I prayed to God, please just let me blow up. I don't want to be captured because they don't have In-N-Out Burger in Iraq. I promise you that. Can you imagine me in the back of an old Corolla with a ski mask, Anyway, so there I am in a flak jacket, the largest one they could find, and a helmet, a Jew in a flak jacket and a helmet, and I'm strapped to the wall of one of those Blackhawks, and every night, shh, we're going out now, like 3 choppers and me, and I had 5 bodyguards with guns, all people who weren't really like dangerous people, but they'd been trained on video games, and they were my snipers. These guys, they come in today fully trained at 18 because they've been playing video games for 27 years, So, and my bodyguard was a guy named Newman, this kid, he was about 5'2", and his uniform didn't fit. It was like a joke, and I said, if something goes down, man, can you handle it? And he said, I can shoot the fucking balls off a pigeon with one eye closed from 7 miles. I said, you, my friend, are my man. But when I got conscious contact, with when I had to confront the idea of what about if I die? What happens if I die? Now, I never thought that when I was drinking and drugging. I was hoping I would die because I was too much of a wuss to take myself out. I never thought about what if I die. I love my life so much today. What if I die? And the answer I got back? At least you died doing something for somebody else. That, my friend, is the promises. I wasn't there for the gig. I wasn't there because a guy from Fox might be in the back with his arms folded taking notes. I wasn't there because I might get paid. I was there because I might die, and there are other people who have a lot more courage than I do out there doing that job, whether we like it here in Los Angeles or not. That's commitment, my friend. Confronting your own mortality on a daily basis because you're an American. Dude. And you're not working the steps, and you don't have a sponsor? Get real, please. Bottom line for me, I have a relationship in my life that's absolutely magnificent. I have a normal person in my life who loved me when I was 330 pounds. And she's hot. And she's human, and she gives, and she's generous, and she doesn't have to go to meetings to be that way. She wakes up in the morning like that. Unbelievable. And she's from Poland. They tell American jokes in Poland. She said to me one day, how many Americans does it take to screw in the light bulb? I said, I don't know. She said, who gives a shit? Let him sit in the dark. Will you marry me? You know, that was next. The reason my life is so blessed is because I have a higher power, and the higher power I have also works through other people who have a higher power. Because I want to live today. I want to live, and I want to love, and I want to laugh, and I want to be happy truly. And I'm so glad I'm not ashamed of myself anymore. These are the smallest pants I've ever worn in my life. I finally crossed the food hurdle, and I may not be skinny, but I'm gorgeous today. And when I don't look in the mirror and go, oh, God, you again. I look in the mirror and I go, thank God I'm me today, whatever that's worth. This thing is a gift. Take the gift, live the gift, find the higher power. Don't bullshit yourself. I'm not going to threaten you, but I will tell you that the smile on my face, every single thing I told you came directly after a pretty healthy dose of conscious contact. I'm really sorry I'm leaving in a few hours to go home because I really loved it here this week. I loved having everybody look me up and down. You know, it's funny in LA, when you come to LA, everyone like looks at you, and even if they don't, everywhere you go. Like, they're talking to somebody else, they're on the phone. Are you somebody? No, I'm nobody. Sorry, It's hilarious. I love it. But I live in Florida. If you're ever in the 561, Deezer. Hebrozo represents down in the Florida hood. I'm in Del Rey. Look me up. Bring that love, man. We're just everybody down there, and I needed a whole lot of that, guys. I needed to just be everybody. We're all just ants from that far away. So be an ant, bring some stuff back to the hill, find that higher power thing, tell the truth, have fun, love, love, love. And I can say I don't like everybody in this room, but I love everybody in this room. I love everybody in this room because if I ran into you and I was in some deep stuff, you know me. Where else can you find that? No hidden agenda. You know me. Thanks be to God.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think. Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down. And then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.